Hey, it's me, Nimbus, and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk today about how to create Indigenous-inspired fantasy characters without stealing from real cultures. We're going to do it respectfully, because I know a lot of people are interested in using Indigenous or possibly other kind of tribal cultures, but they don't want to be disrespectful. They don't want to enable stereotypes, and that is the biggest problem. Because everyone is scared of crossing a cultural boundary or accidentally appropriating something that's very sacred. So I'm going to attempt to walk you through how I built my Indigenous coded culture in my world using my Carrie Wappy as an example. And that is the character that you see here, because I wouldn't say that she has two cultures, more that she is a very complicated, she's kind of like a Mulan type character, if you kind of get my drift. So she is a Tsutsio, which comes from in the northern part of Addix in my world. Addix is kind of like a desert culture, and I mix the North Addix and South Addix to be completely two different areas. North Addix is the Indigenous coded / other culture coded location, and the lower portion is more, it's kind of tribal, kind of taking a little bit from Suikoden, a little bit from the Wild West, and a little bit colonial period. It's a little bit of a mix. So I hope you enjoy my speed paint, because this was a reward that I did for getting to 500 followers over on my Instagram. I did a draw with me, and I did two versions, and I said if anyone wanted to draw it, they could. And to be honest, if you guys still want to do that and draw Wappy and tag me under Wappy 500, or I think it was Suhi 500 or Wappy 500, that would be super cool. But no pressure, no pressure. So first, Indigenous inspired doesn't mean copying a real tribe. It doesn't mean recreating any of the Navajo, Shoshone, Cree, or any other nation and just renaming it, because that is really offensive. Indigenous people have sacred ceremonies and traditions and culturally specific symbols that don't belong in fantasy unless you are Indigenous yourself. As an example, there was a book called The City of Brass, which I think everyone should listen to or everyone should read. It is a Middle Eastern magic world, and you guys just need to go, just experience it, please. And the person who writes it is also Middle Eastern, so she knows everything about the culture. That's exactly what I'm meaning. So only an Indigenous person would be able to write an Indigenous fantasy like that, using all of their culture points, okay? Now, Indigenous inspired means drawing from aesthetics, rhythms, environments, philosophies, without stealing their religion or sacred practices. Now, here's a list of things that you should absolutely not do. No recreating ceremonial clothing, no use of sacred objects, medicine wheels, totems, smudging, any sweat lodge rites, don't do that. Lifting actual tribe naming systems. You can have an inspired one where you make ones that are that sound similar, but I would be very careful about that. Using real clan names or religious figures, turning Indigenous coded characters into mystical nature people. Please don't do that. Or recreate real colonial trauma just for aesthetics. Don't do that either. Like in my world, I have a civil war that takes place, and it is the North that wins. So the Indigenous actually win the war against another Indigenous. I wouldn't even call it colonialism. It's like Indigenous versus another tribe, I guess. So here are some examples of what you can do though. Blend multiple influences, creating your own pantheon, rituals, and magic. So if your world has a magic system, you should maybe work with that magic system to make something that is inspired, that feels the same, but is not the same. Like, for example, the Tsutsio, they worship all the 15 beast gods. Now, another thing is some people make up their own languages and naming patterns. I am kind of on the fence about that. I think that you can make up new names based on old naming patterns and just have names that aren't of the culture, because I have no intentions on trying to make my own language, and languages are super hard. I am not a linguist. I am not doing that shit. I feel other people aren't doing that shit. I use languages that we have in the real world for my fantasy world. I have like French. I have some Middle Eastern languages. I have Spanish, I think. I definitely have Greek in there somewhere. Like, for example, the Sutsio, they live in the desert and there's plateau aesthetics without implying any of these being religious or anything. I designed fantasy clothes that feel right for the culture, but that has nothing to do with any kind of ceremonies. And if you are very attached to an indigenous name that you really, really love, that's fine. I would say maybe keep it very sparse, very, very sparse, and have them be like specific. So Wapi does mean something. It means like lucky, and that's why I really just love that name, because she has two names. She has a name that she picked for herself and a name that is her true name, and the name she picked for herself was Wapi. And Suhi is not a name. That is a name I made up. I mean, obviously it's a name somewhere, but I'm saying like I made up the name being in her culture, because you kind of just want to feel the vibe of how it sounds phonetically. Like if everything phonetically matches, then essentially you've probably done a good job without appropriating. Now, if there's any indigenous people in my comment section, please feel free to comment down below any advice that you would also like to give. Because like, I don't know if you guys would consider me indigenous. I am Puerto Rican. I do have Taino native in my blood. So some people say that's indigenous. Some people say that it's not. But, you know, some of Dio's like stuff does have some Taino. It does have some other stuff that I really enjoyed, but it's nothing specific because obviously the Taino has been basically erased from history, which is unfortunate. The Wapi is a Sutsio and a people from the middle section of the Northern Attucks. They are hidden in a valley and they live there, similar to some natives that are in the Great Basin area. And I mixed a little bit of the Taino stuff in there, whatever I do have left. So they have their own gods, they have their own magic, they have their own political system, they have their own traditions, and they belong to my world, not the real one. And the name that I picked for her was a general name. It's not sacred, it's not ceremonial, it's not clan-based, it was just a name. Like her jewelry is fantasy, her colors are fantasy, everything about her is fantasy. Another thing is if you're having trouble making a list of names, do not go to the native babies names list and just pick them. Do not do that. Like, just do your best to make up names as you can. On top of that, you're building characters, not stereotypes. So they're people, not symbols. Wapi isn't like mystical nature girl. She has a family, a role in her community, political context, all that stuff. You need to keep it respectful if you're going to do it. The key to making them is to have originality, respect, blending influences, and avoiding sacred elements from real cultures. Now, if this is something you're interested in, I do post a lot of my world building stuff on my Patreon. You can go over there and see that for the $5 tier, and I post my art stuff there for the $1 tier. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me one below, and I will do my best to respond to you, or join me in Discord. I'm always here to help out if I can. And if you could you subscribe? I would really love that. It would mean the world to me. And I hope that you guys come back for another video. If you guys are interested in some world building tips, I have my best world building tips video that will definitely be at the end of this video. Or if you want to hear my world building critique of Milo Winter's Age of Scorpius, it is also there, and I go into deep depth, and I'm planning on doing more of those. I just need to find what books to cover. So just make sure, please do research before you decide to have any indigenous coded characters in your world. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time, guys.